Welcome to Presentation, Ponder, Practice. Hebrews chapter 5 continues the contrast between the ministry of the earthly high priest and the ministry of Jesus, which is in heaven. The earthly priest served in a sanctuary that was a copy, a shadow of the heavenly. Copy translates a term for example, model, pattern. Shadow refers to an example that prefigures or foreshadows what is to come. The true or real sanctuary or tabernacle as a place of worship is in heaven. As proof that the sanctuary of the Old Covenant was a copy, the author wrote, just as Moses was warned when he was about to erect, that is, complete or accomplish the tabernacle of old. He then quotes Exodus chapter 25 and verse 40. See that you make all things according to the pattern which was shown to you on the mountain. All things has been added by the author to the quoted passage, possibly because he is considering the whole of chapter 25 of Exodus, or because the word all is actually used in Exodus 25 verse 9 concerning the same matter. Either way, the point is that Moses was shown how to complete the tabernacle by God's specifications. What Moses accomplished was patterned after what he was shown by God. The heavenly was used to make the copy of the earthly. The old covenant was mediated by Moses then. A better covenant was needed, Hebrews chapter 8 verse 7, for if that first covenant had been faultless, there would have been no occasion sought for a second, he says. The first covenant could not do what it was set up to do, namely in function, that is, to make the people perfect by dealing with sin, Hebrews 7 verse 11. The new covenant, the church, also true forgiveness, has come because of the ministry of Christ. The promises of the new covenant are for the future life. There is uncertainty about the Greek text, also the meaning of the words which open verse 8 of Hebrews 8. For finding fault with them, he says, is equivalent or equally represented in the manuscripts by the phrase, he finds fault with them when he says. There's only a slight difference in meaning based on second person or third person writing. The fact is the fault is on the people, not on the covenant. When God addresses them about the new covenant's need and coming later in verse 8. The old covenant was written on dead stones, Exodus chapter 32 and verse 15. The new covenant is written on living hearts. The old covenant sanctuary was a copy, modeled or patterned after the heavenly sanctuary of the new covenant. The old covenant sanctuary was a shadow which prefigured or foreshadowed a new one under the new covenant. The old covenant was mediated by Moses. The new covenant is mediated by Christ. The first could not deal with sins of men permanently, so a second was sought so that the sins of men could be dealt with completely. The end result, the new is far better. The new covenant is better than the old covenant. Living under the new covenant is far better. We must choose, though, to approach God through Christ for our sins to be removed permanently. The old covenant helps us then to understand the new covenant, helps us to understand our sin problem, and it helps us to understand our relationship with God. The new covenant is superior in security to that of the old because the new covenant is permanent, more secure, bringing about permanent results. May God bless you in drawing near to Him by the requirements of the new covenant.